Alright, it's just been over a month since I've been using the Pixel 7a as my daily driver, and it's time for an in-depth full review of this phone. I've actually been using Pixels since the Pixel 2 XL, so I am quite experienced with them, especially after rocking the Pixel 6 and 7 for a full year each. But for those of you who don't want to stay for the full review, let me just give you guys the verdict straight away. It's a fantastic phone with amazing cameras, pretty good battery life, and the best Android experience you can get. You won't regret getting the Pixel 7a at all unless the Pixel 7 is close in price. I actually will do a full comparison of that soon as well, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that. But anyways, let's get talking about the good and bads of the phone, and thank you NordLocker for sponsoring this video. Let's start off with the hardware, in which not much has really changed. The main difference you'll see is a new camera design from the Pixel 7, where the camera bar is now fully aluminum with a cutout for the two lenses, instead of being plastic, which makes it look much more sleek and elegant. The color options are also different this year, with the one I currently have and my favorite, C, the Google Store exclusive, which also looks fantastic, Coral, and the two more muted options, Charcoal and Snow. Now the one gripe I have about this phone is that it's plastic, or what Google calls their 3D thermal-formed composite back. Now, I know I used to say that plastic doesn't matter because you can't feel it when it's in a case, it's more durable, and makes the phone lighter. However, with my brother's 6a that's been kept in a case for an entire year, there are tons and tons of micro scratches all over the back of the phone, which would significantly devalue the phone when selling it, not to mention it looking bad. Regardless of that though, the rest of the hardware looks great with an aluminum frame, which feels solid, and metal buttons, which feel super clicky and not mushy. I also love the compact size of this phone compared to its bigger siblings, although for some reason this year, the Pixel 7a weighs 15.5 grams more than the Pixel 6a from last year, which felt really light and easy to hold in the hand. The 7a is actually just 3.5 grams away from the weight of the 7, so it actually feels more dense in the hand because of its compact size, but it's still not too heavy. Speaking of compact, let's talk about the displays, which I personally think is one of the biggest upgrades from the Pixel 6a. It's actually the same exact size and resolution at 6.1 inches and 1080p, but the most noticeable difference is the increased refresh rate from 60 to 90 Hz. Although 60 Hz is still perfectly fine, as that's what we've been using for the past decades, and most people can't notice the difference during daily usage anyways. That being said, 90 Hz does make the phone feel a lot snappier, especially with all the fluid animations in Pixel UI. The brightness also did increase by a few hundred nits, and although it's still not the brightest panel, it's a lot easier to see in the sun now, which fixes my previous complaint. And as for media consumption, the display has vibrant and rich colors, paired with a pair of stereo speakers for a more immersive experience. They do get decently loud, but they do also lack a bit of punch in the low end, and sound a bit muddier compared to more premium flagships. And finally, for the biometrics, the in-screen fingerprint scanner works just as great as the Pixel 6a, where it was improved leaps and bounds over the terrible one on the Pixel 6. There's also lightning fast face unlock on the phone now for easy access. And you know what else is easy to access? NordLocker, the sponsor of this video. So, many of you are probably wondering, Fenton, what's NordLocker business? Well, it's an encrypted cloud storage platform that is used to store, share, and manage all of your business data securely. Using myself as an example who runs this content creation business with my best friend Leo, I constantly have to share different photo and video files for him to help with, invoices for any purchases or sponsorship agreements that he needs to put in the accounting software, and any confidential files for new campaigns I'm working on. It would be terrifying for anyone to get their hands on my files, so having a storage solution to encrypt my files using the latest cryptography algorithms gives me a peace of mind, especially with all the recent hacking and data breaches you hear on the news. I love how all the files sync across my devices, how easy it is to share files with anyone I want outside of Leo, and the fact that I never have to worry about losing my files as it's always backed up by NordLocker. And if you have a bigger team, you can easily manage access to all the accounts in your team as well. Definitely try out NordLocker Business for 3 months free with this link and my unique coupon code down below. Alright, back to you, Fenton. And now, finally, how does the phone actually perform and feel like with day-to-day usage? Without a doubt, it's probably going to be the best experience you'll find on Android, as I always say about Pixels. First up, this is a mid-range phone that uses Google's second generation Tensor chip with really powerful AI for smart features and smooth performance. Even though it's not as fast numbers-wise as its Snapdragon counterparts, apps open up very fast, animations across the UI are very fluid, and I haven't noticed much stuttering or lagging if at all. Apps also stay open in the background most of the time, which means that you won't have to constantly reload apps when switching between them. Now, there have been some talk about the tensor chip causing the phone to overheat with usage, like on the Pixel 6a, but I can tell you that it only happens with extended continuous usage, and it does make the phone warm to the touch, but honestly speaking, from my experience, I think it's greatly improved over the older Pixel devices. This phone also runs Android 13 on Google's amazing Pixel UI, which is an absolute treat to use. It's really simple to use, and the Material You theme that forms around the color palette of your wallpaper makes this phone feel more fun and personalized. There are also many small touches in the UI that really add to the experience, such as a little bobbing effect when you get to the end of content, the absolutely amazing haptics you feel when typing on the keyboard, or the way the black fades in and out from the power button when you click it. The always-on display is also both beautiful with a big clock, your battery percentage, and even a feature where the phone automatically identifies any song that's playing in the background. And with the smart AI in this phone, you also get a ton of smart features like call screening, which lets Google Assistant take unknown calls instead and helps you avoid scam calls, having the ability to easily copy any text or images from any app, and best of all, an insanely powerful voice dictation feature on the Pixel. With this special voice dictation feature, Google is able to make transcriptions incredibly fast and accurate, and all offline. It can even fix grammar mistakes, do auto-punctuation, and even send by voice. It's been game-changing for me as it often replaces finger typing, especially when my hands are busy or when I need to reply to many YouTube comments at once. By far my favorite feature of this phone, and it still blows my mind to this day. And if you're worried about any of the bugs that plagued the Pixel 6 launch back a year ago, they pretty much all have been fixed now, and Android 13 is much more stable and smooth. This phone will also support 3 major OS updates and 5 years of security updates too, which will keep your phone smoothly running for the years to come. And as for battery performance, I think it does decently well. It actually does on par with my Pixel 7 with a respectable 5 to 6 hours of screen on time, and it easily lasts me through the full day, which is all I really want. It's honestly much better than my iPhone 14 Pro that I have to constantly recharge throughout the day. I'm still not happy about the slow 18-watt charging on the Pixel 7a though, but at least we finally get wireless charging. And last but not least, the cameras. Google actually did upgrade all 3 lenses on this phone, which is pretty surprising. The main sensor is now upgraded from the old 12 megapixel to a new 64 megapixel sensor, the ultra-wide gets a boost from 12 to 13, and the selfie camera also gets a boost from 8 to 13. Honestly, I compared it back and forth with the Google Pixel 6a and 7, and I pretty much can't tell a difference even if I pixel peep. And as always with Google phones, I personally believe this is the best point-and-shoot camera experience on any phone. Google's camera processing makes these one of the best processed photos in the industry, and honestly my favorite look out of all the devices I own. The cameras are extremely consistent with pictures looking beautiful and punchy with everything being evenly exposed so you won't have any crushed shadows or blown out highlights. The colors are also consistent and look vibrant without looking unnatural, which make these photos social media ready. Google's night side mode also helps improve these images taken in low light dramatically through the use of longer exposure and a bit of magical processing power. You'll definitely be impressed by these photos. There's also a useful ultra-wide camera which allows you to zoom the camera out to 0.5x to fit larger objects or more people in the frame. It also allows you to take some pretty dramatic photos of land and cityscapes which look great. Similarly, the selfie camera uses the same processing to ensure all your selfies look well exposed and colorful. Portrait mode is definitely fun to use if you want to emulate a DSLR-like look in the pictures of your people. And just touching on video, the same great processing can be found with support for 4K 60 on the rear cameras, and new this year, 4K on the selfie camera, which is a welcome addition. If you want to check out how well the video performs, I do have a really fun day in the life vlog of the Pixel 7a, which I suggest you check out after the video if it's uploaded by the time you see this. You'll be able to relive a day with me and see how the phone experience is. But anyways, this is a camera that can be trusted 99% of the time. There's no shutter lag, and actually an AI feature where Google makes sure faces aren't blurred, a top shot mode where you can choose the best frame for each image, and even a cool magic eraser feature that is made possible by the tensor chip. Basically, with the magic eraser, you can pretty much erase any object or distractions in the image decently well, and as long as the background is simple enough. There's even a new camouflage mode where you can change the colors of bright objects that stick out to blend it more in the image. definitely very useful and something Google has been promoting a lot in their advertisements. And that's basically it for this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you can see how great of a deal this phone is for $499. And although it's $50 more than the launch price of the 6A, it's honestly my default recommendation for anyone looking for a phone because it has all the features one needs and does them well too. There's no need to spend $1,000 on a phone that you only text, browse social media, and take the occasional photos with, and if I wasn't a tech YouTuber, I'd be perfectly happy with using this phone for at least 3 to 4 years. And on that note, thank you so much for watching the video. Feel free to leave any burning questions you have about this phone down below in the comments, and I'll try my best to get back to you. Also, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button, and also check out some of the other cool content I have on this channel. Alright, have a good one guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.